Hello everybody, my name is Amina Dahir and I'm here today with Lisa Chaffee. Thank you for joining us today. So firstly, could you tell us what your occupation is? What is it that you do?
Yes, so for my paying job, I'm a medical coder and I work from home. But my passion is my volunteer work, and I serve as Director of Parents' Rights and Education for Ohio, as well as being involved with Franklin County Republican Central Committee and other Republican clubs.
All right, that's very interesting. I really like that. What exactly was it that inspired you to bring awareness to the issues within the Ohio School District and what's being taught to the children right now?
So what got me started is in 2020, with the shutdowns, I started paying attention to the school boards and what they were doing. I actually didn't know that we even had a school board, didn't know anything about it. And then 2021, I decided to run for school board. I did not win, but my two slate mates did. And as I got more involved, I started learning more about what was actually being taught in our schools. You know, with the COVID shutdown, it really peeled back the curtain so parents could see what was happening. And then I also had people telling me, giving me evidence. So in Hilliard, where I live, the biggest problem we have is the transgender issue being pushed on our kids. We have a lot of bullying coming from that side of the aisle to just force kids to identify by labels and their sexual identity, which kids don't need to know all that. And we see it in assignments that are done. We see it in teachers asking, activist teachers asking, what are your preferred pronouns and things like that. So, and the more I see, the worse it's getting, and I'm being as loud as I can to let everybody know what your rights are as parents, as students, and that we need to get our kids focused back on academics, because 8th graders having a 54% proficiency rating in math is unacceptable.
Most definitely. I'm really glad you're somebody that's bringing awareness to this, because there's not a lot of people out there that are speaking about this. Do you know if there are any set laws in place to prevent these things, or any organizations that might be involved in the issues being passed about it?
There are no laws currently. I mean, we do have Ohio revised codes that dictate certain topics like sex education. It's supposed to be predominantly abstinence teaching, but they're ignoring that. But currently, just a few weeks ago, the House here in Ohio passed the Parents' Rights Bill, which is HB 8. And now it needs to go to the Senate, but what it will do is it defines what the sexual content is that they're not allowed to have or what they are allowed to have. But most importantly, it will make it illegal for schools to withhold information about a child's mental, physical, emotional health from parents, which that is one of the biggest problems we're having right now. When a child or student is gender confused, or if they have, even if they're not, but they're part of the LGBTQ community and they have any kind of mental health, these activist teachers and social workers and counselors are deciding that the parents are not safe to talk to, and they're not giving parents that information.
I get that. What suggestions do you have for the parents or the guardians of these children looking into the future?
First and foremost, go to the school board meetings. Pay attention to what they're voting on. You can ask, every school district has online board policies. Familiarize yourself with them. You have the right to request the information, the curriculum that is being given to your child. And not just the benign stuff that's on the website, but the specifics. Pay attention to what your child's bringing home, be it on paper or on iPad. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid, if they're making your child read a book that you don't approve of, ask for another one. You have the right to ask for that. But you have to be the staunchest advocate for your child, because no one else is going to be.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. What are some ways in which you were able to rally support from the community? Any experiences with the Somali community even?
Not the Somali community. We now in Hilliard, we have the Pakistani Muslims are stepping forward. We have some wonderful leaders in that community. As a matter of fact, they were able to collect over 1,200 signatures demanding that our school district remove the library books that have sexual content that are not age appropriate in any way, shape, or form. But we have a website. We have a website, we have a Facebook page, Parents' Rights and Education, and that's where I do a lot of my networking is online. But I also go to clubs, groups, speak to people, and just talking to people and letting them know what's happening.
Do you have any advice for parents and how they can prepare their children for this in school? If, sometimes there could be occurrences where the parent can't get involved or anything like that, and do you know what the solution could be?
Well, first of all, parents must empower their children to be able to say no and stand up for themselves. That it's okay to tell a teacher no. If, for example, Christians and Muslims don't believe in homosexuality, tell your child that.
Exactly.
Tell your child that if a teacher says, "What's your preferred pronoun?" to go ask their parent. That you have to empower them. Too many people, especially immigrants, are afraid to stir the pot. They're afraid to question. Don't be afraid. You have every single right. And then just keep instilling your values in your children and letting them know. Talk to them. That's the most important thing, is to have this conversation with your children as often as possible and ask them, hey, what happened in school today? And most importantly too, communicate with the teachers. Let them know where you stand. Solutions, that's the solution, is parents being involved. Getting the Parents' Rights Bill passed at the state level is going to be wonderful, but it's not going to do any good if parents aren't staying on top, because these activist teachers are really, really good at skirting around the issues and hiding things.
Well, I'm very glad that you're somebody that's bringing awareness to this topic.